So, you want to make money while you're juggling college life. Maybe you're barely scraping by on a tight budget, surviving on instant ramen, and questioning whether that degree will actually pay off. And hey, I get it. College is expensive. The truth is, a degree alone won't make you rich, but multiple streams of income might. Most millionaires have at least 3 income streams, and 29% have 5 or more. The problem is, most side hustles aren't realistic for students. You don't have thousands of dollars to invest, a warehouse to store inventory, or time for a second full time job. That's why I've put together 7 side hustles that actually work for students. These aren't random ideas. I've personally done some of these myself and made a few $1,000s per month while still in college. So whether you have $0 to invest into a side hustle or a few $100, there's a side hustle in this video for everyone. So let's get into it. So picture this. It's a Saturday night. You're at a massive college party. There's a fog machine blasting, a 360 video booth, an LED dance floor flashing in sync with the music, and if it's a frat throwing the party, probably a ridiculous inflatable nightclub in the backyard. It looks insane. Everyone's having a great time. And you know what else? Someone just made thousands of dollars renting out that equipment. Most people don't realize that fraternities, sororities, and event organizers are constantly looking for ways to make their parties stand out. And they don't own this stuff. They rent it. And the people renting it out, they're making absolute bank. When I was in college, every single weekend, I'd see these massive events happening. Greek life parties, club formals, even small private parties, and they all need the same thing. Fog machines, LED dance floors, photo booths, inflatable foam pits, cold spark fireworks, and CO2 cannons. And here's the best part. You don't have to run the event. You just drop off the equipment, pick it up later, and cash out. Most people don't realize how much money is in this. A basic fog machine rental is $250 a night. A 360 video booth, anywhere from $600 to $1,200 per event. A portable restroom trailer or porta potty could go anywhere from $750 to $1,500 for a weekend. Inflatable nightclubs, easily $1,500 a night. And if a fraternity or event planner books a bundle deal, say a fog machine, an LED dance floor, and cold spark fireworks together, you could be looking at a single $3,000 booking. Now let's say you rent out just a few of these items per weekend, maybe a video booth, a fog machine, and a restroom trailer. That's easily $3K to $5K per weekend. And if you go all in and expand your inventory, you could be doing $10K per month. And the crazy part, most of this is just dropping stuff off and picking it up later. At first, you'll spend a little bit of time reaching out to frats, clubs, and wedding planners, but once you start getting repeat customers, this side hustle runs almost on autopilot. And if you hire a friend or a driver to handle deliveries, it's even more passive. So how do you actually start this? Well, first things first, you don't need brand new equipment. Check Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and liquidation sales for used gear. You can get a fog machine or a CO2 cannon for a couple $100 instead of spending thousands on brand new inventory. Then reach out to the frats and the sororities and the event planners because they book months in advance and are always looking for vendors. Once you start getting bookings, set up simple Instagram or TikTok pages and start posting event setups, behind the scene videos, and client shoutouts to build credibility. You can even list this on event rental sites like Gig Salad, The Bash, or Peerspace to get extra bookings outside of Greek life. And here's how you scale. Package deals. Instead of renting out just a fog machine, bundle it with a 360 video booth and an LED dance floor. That way, instead of making $250 for one rental, you're making $1,500 for a single event. And the best part is, once you have the inventory, your overhead is next to nothing. You're not buying new equipment every week. You're reusing the same rentals over and over again and making pure profit. And if you do this right, by the time graduation rolls around, you won't just have a degree, you'll have a full-blown business making thousands of dollars per month. Let's move on to the next. Most people completely overlook local services as a side hustle because they think you need a trade license, expensive equipment, or years of experience to get started. But the truth is, there are tons of services that you can offer right now with little to no startup costs, and the demand is always there. Think about it. Houses don't stop getting dirty, lawns keep growing, driveways keep getting stained, and gutters keep getting clogged. And most homeowners don't want to deal with any of this themselves. When I was in college, I knew a guy who was making over $500 a day pressure washing driveways and cleaning gutters. He didn't have some big fancy setup, just used a pressure washer and a ladder, and his customers, they were literally begging him to come back every single season. This is what makes local services so powerful. It's not a trendy side hustle that disappears overnight. It's something people always will need. And the best part is, most of these services don't require any certification or special skills to start. If you're looking for something fast and easy to get into, here are some of the best options. Pressure washing. Homeowners will gladly pay $150 to $500 just to have their driveway or house washed. Get a used pressure washer for $300 to $400 and it'll pay itself in a weekend. Gutter cleaning. This is one of the most overlooked but highest profit margin services out there. Homeowners hate cleaning their gutters and they'll pay anywhere from $100 to $300 per job. All you need is a ladder and a pair of gloves. Lawn care. Mowing, edging, and trimming bushes can bring in $50 to $100 per yard per visit. If you get just 10 customers on a biweekly schedule, that's an easy $2,000 per month. Next up is junk removal, and this is one of the most overlooked but highest profit margin services out there. Homeowners hate cleaning out attics, basements, and garages, and they'll pay anywhere from $100 to $600 per job. All you need is a truck, some muscle, and a strong work ethic. There's a junk removal business in my town that was started by college students, and you can't go anywhere without seeing their flyers, their bandit signs on the side of the road, or trucks driving around with their logos plastered on the side. They call it college hunks hauling junks, and honestly, it's one of the smartest ideas I've ever seen. The name alone makes you remember them. It's fun, it's catchy, and it's different than the usual XYZ junk removal you see everywhere. And because their marketing is so simple but effective, they became the go-to junk removal services in America. The best part is they started exactly like this: hauling junk out of people's garages, picking up old furniture, and charging a few $100 per job. And now they've turned it into a multi-million-dollar business with franchises all over the country. That's the power of a good business model mixed with smart marketing. And if you can come up with a memorable name, put out bandit signs, and get your first few customers, this side hustle practically grows itself. The crazy thing is, people think you need to be an expert to start one of these businesses, but you really don't. Most homeowners don't care if you're a pro, they just want the job done correctly. And as long as you're reliable and show up on time, they'll keep hiring you. So how do you actually start? First, you pick a service that has demand in your area, then you get the bare minimum equipment. Don't go buying brand new setups before you even have customers. Start small, get a few jobs under your belt, and then reinvest as you go. Next, you should get the word out. Post on Facebook groups, Craigslist, Nextdoor, and community boards. Go old school, print out flyers and stick them on mailboxes in high-end neighborhoods. Offer a first-time discount to get your first few customers, and once you do a great job, ask them to leave a review and then refer you to their friends. Once you start getting consistent customers, you can hire extra help, expand your services, or even add more locations. Some people start as a one-person operation and end up making 6 figures a year just by scaling smartly. And if you really want to start this or any of the other side hustles we're going to talk about in this video, you're going to need a business management software tool like QuoteIQ to automate scheduling, send and receive payments from customers, and track customer jobs. This is the software that I used when I was in college and still use to this day for my businesses. It's easy to use and it's super cheap compared to its competitors. So if you're serious about starting any of these side hustles, make sure that you have a system in place that makes running your business easier, like with QuoteIQ. You can get a link in the comment section down below and check it out for free today. And look, I know people think that manual labor isn't glamorous, but you know what else isn't glamorous? Being broke. There are people out there making more money cutting grass and pressure washing than college graduates make working desk jobs. And at the end of the day, this side hustle is perfect if you want something low risk, high reward, and ridiculously scalable. You can start this today, make money this week, and turn this into a full-blown business within a few months. The next side hustle up is a remote service business, and this is without a doubt one of the most scalable and profitable side hustles that you can start right now. It's the same business model that I started when I was in college, and I was making over $7,000 a month while still full enrolled in classes without ever having to do the actual service work myself, and you can do it completely from your computer. And the best part is this works in any city for almost any service, and once you set it up, you can run it on autopilot. So here's how it works. You market a service, you generate leads, and then you outsource the actual work to contractors in that industry for a fixed price. You're essentially just the middleman. Now, before you say, wait, isn't that just a marketing agency? Not quite. Most marketing agencies charge a business a fee to run ads and then hope the business can close the leads. But with a remote service business, you're generating the leads, sending it to a contractor, and then they fulfill the service. Then they either pay you an upfront price or a percentage of the job you brought them. And this is why it's so powerful, because you're in control of the entire process. So let me give you an example. Let's say you set up a roofing service in Atlanta, Georgia. You run ads on Facebook, Google Ads, or even set up a website with SEO to generate leads. A homeowner reaches out and you quote them $10,000 for a roofing job. Now, instead of actually going out and doing the work yourself, you find a local roofing company in Atlanta that agrees to do the job. They do the work, the customer is happy, and you just made around anywhere from $500 to $1,000 in profit without ever touching a ladder. Now, multiply that across 10, 20, or 50 jobs per month, and you start seeing how scalable this gets. And once you dial in your ads, your SEO, and your outreach strategy, you can set up different service businesses in different cities and make as much money as you want. So how much money can you realistically make with this? The profit margins are insane compared to traditional businesses. Most contractors are willing to take 80 to 90% of the job price just to have the work brought to them, meaning you're keeping 10 to 20% of every deal without doing the work yourself. Let's say you booked a roof cleaning job at $500. You subcontract it out for 15% of the total price. That's an easy $75 without ever leaving your couch. Depending on the service and how much you scale, if you get just 12 jobs a week, you're looking at around $1,000 in profit per week or $5K per month. And that's just one service in one city. If you expand to multiple services in your city or even multiple services in multiple cities, you can easily scale past 20K per month. And the best part is you're not limited to just one niche. You can do this with roofing, HVAC, plumbing, pressure washing, lawn care, junk removal, painting, and 100 other high-ticket services. So how much time does it actually take? At first, you'll spend a few hours setting everything up, building a website, running ads, and reaching out to contractors. But once you get consistent jobs coming in, your role is really just coordinating bookings and making money. And if you really want to automate everything, you can use tools like the one we talked about, QuoteIQ, which has a feature called InstaQuote. You put it on your website, which allows your customers to get quotes for your service all by themselves. There's no phone calls to you asking about pricing. They do it all by themselves. And when they book, you send a text over to your contractor, making it a seamless interaction. Using tools like QuoteIQ's InstaQuote makes this a business that runs completely on autopilot with a bare minimum time investment on your part. So how do you get started? First, you pick a service that's in high demand. The easiest way to do this is go on Google and type in best home services near me and look at the businesses running ads. If they're paying for ads, it means the demand is there. Next, you find contractors who are already doing the work but don't know how to get consistent jobs. These are the people who will happily take the work for a lower price because they're usually struggling with marketing and just want more customers. Then you set up a simple website, you run ads, or use SEO to start getting leads. Once you have people reaching out, book the jobs, collect payment up front, and send the work to your contractor. This is exactly how I built my remote service business in college. I set up lead generations in multiple cities and I never had to do the actual work. And within a few months, I was making 7K per month while still in school. And I talk about this a lot on my channel. So if you're serious about starting this, I've linked my full blueprint in the comment section and description so you can check that out. Number 4, and I'm sure you've probably heard people say, YouTube is one of the best ways to make passive income. And while that's true, what they don't tell you is that most people don't want to be on camera. Maybe you hate the sound of your voice. Maybe you don't want your face plastered all over the internet. Or maybe you just don't have the time to sit down and record a video every single day. That's where YouTube automation comes in. Instead of filming videos yourself, you outsource everything, the script writing, the voiceovers, the editing, and you just focus on running the channel. This is exactly how some of the biggest YouTube channels operate. A lot of the Faceless, documentary, or top 10 channels you see, they're not run by one person sitting in their bedroom. They're managed like an actual business where different people handle different parts of the production. And once a video is uploaded, it keeps making money forever. I've also seen a lot of videos that have come out teaching people how to build channels with the use of AI to make this process completely automized, taking away the need of outsourcing to script writers and voice actors. So with new AIs coming out every single day and constantly advancing, if you're interested in this type of side hustle, that's definitely something to look into. But I do not have enough knowledge on the use of AI or automation platforms to really get into that. But maybe you could hire someone to build it for you on freelancing networks like Fiverr, then just collect the checks from YouTube passively. But back to the previous method, let's say you create a faceless YouTube channel about personal finance, sports, celebrity drama, or even AI. You never show your face, you never record anything yourself. You just hire a scriptwriter to write the content, a voiceover artist to narrate it, and then an editor to put everything together. Once the video is done, you upload it, let YouTube's algorithm do its thing, and if the video takes off, you get paid every single time someone watches. Now here's where it gets crazy. A single viral video can make $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000 or more over time. Some YouTube automation channels upload multiple videos per week, and once they start getting traction, the income just keeps growing. There are people running these channels who make 20K, 50K, or even 100K per month, all without ever picking up a camera. So how much money can you actually make? Well, it does depend on the niche because YouTube pays differently depending on what your videos are about. If you start a gaming or entertainment channel, you can make $2 to $5 per 1,000 views. But if you're in finance, tech, or business content, advertisers will pay more, sometimes $20 to $40 per 1,000 views. That means a video that gets 100,000 views in finance niche could make $2,000 to $4,000 just from ad revenue alone. And if you stack that on top of affiliate marketing, sponsorships, and selling digital products, that income potential is massive. The best part is once a video is uploaded, it works for you 24/7. A video that you post a day could still be making you money 5 years from now. And if you build a library of videos, even some that get a few thousand views each, they stack up over time. At first, you'll need to put in some work up front, finding the right niche, hiring a team, and making sure the content is good. But once you have a good system in place, it becomes almost passive. You just upload videos, monitor performance, and reinvest profits into scaling. Some people start with just one channel, but once they figure out what works, they launch multiple channels in different niches and turn YouTube into a full-blown media company. So how would you actually start this? The first thing that you should do is find the right niche. The best way to do this is by looking at what's already working. Go to YouTube, search for faceless YouTube channels in different niches, and see which ones are getting millions of views. Then you'll need to find a team, a scriptwriter, a voiceover artist, and an editor. And you can find all these people on Fiverr, Upwork, or even YouTube automation Facebook groups. Once you have your team, you upload your first few videos and watch what happens. The algorithm takes a little time to kick in, but once your channel starts gaining momentum, it snowballs fast. And if you're wondering if this actually works, there are entire YouTube channels dedicated to people who have built 6- and 7-figure businesses doing this. Some of them never show their face, never recorded a single video themselves, and yet they're making more than doctors and lawyers. This is one of the most scalable, passive, and beginner-friendly online businesses that you can start. And the craziest part is YouTube isn't going anywhere. And if you start this now, 2 or 3 years down the line, you could be sitting on a cash-flowing media empire, all from videos you never even recorded yourself. The next one is really interesting, and I wish I did this when I was in school. Believe it or not, there are companies out there willing to pay hundreds of dollars just to listen to your opinions. No work, no skills required, just answer some questions and give your thoughts, and then get paid. And I know what you're thinking. Well, that sounds like a scam, right? Some sketchy make money online nonsense. But no, legit companies do this all the time because they need real consumer feedback to improve their products and their marketing strategies. But here's how it works. Businesses, marketing agencies, and research firms are constantly testing new products, services, and ad campaigns. Before they invest millions into launching something, they want to know if people actually like it. So they run focus groups, which is basically just a small group of people that give feedback in a structured discussion. And because your feedback is valuable, they're willing to pay good money for it. Some of these focus groups are in person, like at a research facility or an office, while others are completely online. And the pay, it can be anywhere from $50 to $250 per session, depending on how the niche study is and how long it takes. And if they need general consumer opinions, they might be lower. But if they're looking for something super specific, like say tall people over 6'4" who love Wingstop, they'll pay way more because it's harder to find people who fit that description. Now, if you're just doing a random focus group here and there, it's probably not going to replace your full-time job. But if you actively sign up for multiple platforms, you can stack these up and make a few $100 to $1,000 a month just by answering questions. At first, it takes a little bit of time to find the best paying opportunities, but once you get accepted into a few panels, companies will start reaching out to you directly. Some people get invited to exclusive high-paying studies that aren't even listed publicly. And if you want to maximize your earnings, you can join multiple legit focus group platforms like Respondent, User Interviews, and focusgroup.com. The best part here is this is the easiest money you'll ever make. You don't have to sell anything, you don't have to do any manual labor, and you really don't have to leave your house. You're literally just giving your opinion, getting paid, and moving on with your day. And if you're a student, this is perfect because you can do most of these online while sitting in your dorm room or wrapped up in a blanket watching Netflix. So if you're looking for a low effort way to make extra cash, this is one of the easiest, laziest side hustles to make and really doesn't cost any money to do. Next up is a part-time job. All right, I know what you're thinking. A part-time job, that's not really a side hustle. But hear me out, because for some people, this is actually the best way to start making money. Not everyone wants to run a business, deal with clients, take on financial risk, or have the finances to start some of these side hustles. Some people just want a simple, steady paycheck while they figure out what their next move is. And if that's you, there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, a part-time job can be one of the smartest moves you can make if you pick the right one. The key is not just working for any random job, but finding the ones that pay well, gives you flexibility, and doesn't drain the life out of you. If you're in college, the worst thing that you can do is get stuck working 30 hours a week for minimum wage, making just enough to cover your gas and food. Instead, you want to work smarter. There are certain part-time jobs that pay way more than others and actually let you work on other things while you're getting paid. Think of jobs where you're sitting at a desk barely doing anything for half your shift. A perfect example, working at a front desk at a gym, apartment complex, or a student dorm. These jobs pay $15 to $20 an hour, and most of the time you're just sitting there scrolling on your phone. But here's where it gets interesting, because instead of wasting that time, you could be using that paid downtime to build a real side hustle, like any of the ones we've talked about in this video. Imagine getting paid $18 an hour to sit at a desk while you're also building your remote service business on your laptop or editing videos for your YouTube channel. Now, your part-time job isn't just paying the bills, it's funding your real business. Another solid option is serving or bartending. Now, these jobs pay terrible wages, but the tips can be insane. A single weekend shift at a busy restaurant can bring in $200 to $400 just in tips. And if you do just 2 shifts a week, you could be making $1,500 per month and working less than 20 hours. And if you work in a high-end place, your earnings could be double or even triple that. There's also tutoring, which is one of the easiest high-paying part-time jobs out there. Most college students don't realize that you can tutor high school students in subjects that you already know and charge $30 to $50 per hour. And if you tutor just 10 hours a week, that's $1,500 to $2,000 per month, all from teaching stuff that you've already learned. But at the end of the day, a part-time job isn't just about working for the rest of your life. It's about using it as a tool to get ahead. If you get the right job, it gives you cash flow, lets you build other income streams, and keeps you from stressing out about money while you figure things out. And if you combine a high-paying part-time job with one of the other side hustles that we talked about, That's how you go from just making ends meet to actually getting ahead. To wrap it up, our final business is pretty interesting as well. Everywhere you look, there are boring businesses quietly making money: laundromats, self-storage facilities, parking lots, or even car washes. These businesses might not seem exciting, but there are absolute gold mines. They're reliable, recession-proof, and provide services people will always need. But here's the thing, most of them are stuck in the past. A lot of these businesses are run by older owners who have been doing things the same for decades. They don't have an online presence, they still take cash payments only, and they waste hours doing tasks that could be automated. And that's where you would come in. With just a few modern upgrades, you could significantly boost their profits and take a cut for yourself. You're not running the business, you're just making it run better. Let's take a laundromat, for example. A single laundromat can bring in $300K per year with profit margins between 20 and 30%, but many of them still run on an outdated coin machine and have no online presence. If you set them up with a mobile payment system and an online booking feature and social media ads, you can increase their revenue by thousands of dollars per month. Or take a self-storage facility, another business that prints money but still relies on paper invoices and outdated billing. With softwares like Odo, you could automate their billing process, get rid of the messy cash systems, and make payments 100% online. And here's the best part, you don't charge up front. Instead, you do a profit split. That means you only get paid if the business sees real growth. Let's say you increase a laundromat's annual profits by $50,000. If you negotiate a 20% cut, that's $10,000 in your pocket for one client. At first, it takes a little work to find these businesses that need help, but once you get one or two success stories, you can start charging higher percentages and bigger fees. Business owners love this model because you're not asking them to pay up front for something that might work. You're saying, I'll make you money and I only get paid when you do. The best way to get started here is look for outdated businesses near you. Drive around your city and take note of which businesses don't have websites, still take cash only, or look like they haven't been updated since 2005. Then reach out to the owners, show them how you would help, and offer a no-risk deal where you only get paid if they make money. Once you prove the value to a couple of businesses, this side hustle can turn into a full-time six-figure business. Because at the end of the day, modernizing old businesses is still one of the easiest ways to create new money. So there you have it. 7 side hustles that actually work for college students. And notice something, none of these require you to be rich, have a degree, or even work full-time. You don't need to start some complicated tech startup, you don't need investors, and you definitely don't need to spend years building something before you see results. These are real, proven businesses that you can start today. Some of them make money fast, some of them scale into a full-time business, and some of them, if you stick with it, can completely change your financial future. The biggest business mistake that people make is waiting. They watch videos like this, they feel motivated for 10 minutes, and then they do nothing. And a year from now, they're in the exact same place, broke, complaining about money, and wishing they had started something sooner. Personally, I don't care what side hustle you pick, just pick one and start. Even if you fail, you'll learn more in 30 days of trying than in 5 years of thinking about it. And if you're serious about starting a remote service business, the side hustle that I started in college that made me $7,000 a month while fully enrolled, I've linked the full blueprint in the comment section and the description below. It's a step-by-step breakdown of how I set everything up, how you can copy it, and how to scale it to a six-figure business. So go check that out. But at the end of the day, the only thing separating you from people making $1,000 per month isn't intelligence, connections, or luck, it's action. So take action now, and in 6 months, you won't be watching videos about making money, you'll be living it.